Alrighty, what's going on? I am Ramsey Said What. It has been a minute since I've given you guys an episode of this podcast, A Side, B Side, a branded podcast by what's the movement.net. As always, go check out the site. If you're listening now, I appreciate you. Rate, subscribe, review, all that nice stuff. I have two awesome guests. I'm very excited to interview the two of you guys. And you know what? I like to let my guests introduce themselves because I don't want to miss something and forget and mess it up. So, gentlemen, it's on you.
Oh, okay. Well, I'll chime in. I'm a DJ, the Money Coach, and the reason why they call me DJ, the Money Coach, is because Ramsey, I'm a lot like the common man and gal out here in the marketplace. What I mean by that, I went to school, got a certificate that told me I was qualified to be a businessman in the accounting field, and just like a lot of people, I didn't realize I took on a whole bunch of debt. So, I came out of school with $40,000 worth of consumable debt in addition to $20,000 worth of student loans. Uh, that's not really what the deal is that I actually went to go try to buy my first house. And actually, I got turned down on my first mortgage, even though I had what I deemed as a professional income. So, didn't get discouraged, was disappointed.
Hmm.
And then a couple of years later, I started a business and got turned down again for a business loan. And the reason why I got turned down, Ramsey, is because I had a 525 credit score in addition to that $60,000 worth of debt.
Hmm.
So even though I made 60, 70, $80,000 at the time, they rejected me just on the premise of my 525 credit score. And so what I ended up doing, instead of being a victim, I just became victorious. I read a book called The Road to Wealth, and I actually just only read one chapter about that, about personal credit, even though I had a background in business,
Hmm.
but I didn't know personal financing. So read that book, applied the principles in that book, and used three little dirty words: accountability, discipline, plugged into a system. 12 months later, I had a 720 credit score. Now I know what your audience is probably saying. Oh, that's no big deal. But I'm talking about, this was back in the early 2000s,
Hmm.
where we had access to all this prevalent, information. It was really still a dialogue world, so it was a lot harder to increase your credit scores. Okay,
Yeah.
so I want to, preface that first and foremost for anybody that say, oh, that's no big deal. So 24 months after that, actually my credit score went to 800,
Ooh.
and my credit score for you know 15 plus years,
Oh, there we go.
and that's real talk. That's 31821. That's an 821 credit score. So I'm not excited about that. You know what I'm excited about? I actually paid off all my debt
Wow.
from the first time I got turned down. I didn't file bankruptcy. I actually take responsibility for the debt that I took on with them ramen noodles and Domino's pizzas in college,
That's how it
partying,
goes.
and I paid all of that off. And then that was in 2002.
Hmm.
In 2008, 6 years later, I became a six-figure passive income earner. I had over $250,000 worth of
Ooh.
income, and I had a seven-figure net worth because I started a business. I invested in businesses. I bought real estate, did dividend stocks, and that's not what I'm excited about. What I'm excited about, Ramsey, long story short, is I actually created a program called Family Finance 101, and I took this program into my community, started in my church, and I taught people the principles of money at a third grade level. And
Hmm.
from that time, 20 years later, I've actually have sat down with over 20,000 people. We've helped over 1,000 people become financially independent, and we've helped hundreds become, what I call consumer debt free. Actually, thousands, at least 5 to 7,000 people become consumer debt free in America. And along that journey, had the privilege of meeting our other, guest on the show, and I'll let him tell his story. And that's what we're excited about today.
Yeah, absolutely.
How you
So,
doing? Appreciate it. Thanks for having me on the show. My name is Ben Carter, one of the co-owners of Talero Organic Tequila. We started this brand in 2015, launched it in Atlanta, Georgia on New Year's Eve, going into 2016 of yeah, January 1st, 2016, and we take pride in the organic tequila because you might ask what is organic tequila. Organic tequila means that we don't use any pesticides or chemicals or growing agents on our blue agave. And what that means to you as a consumer, or a taster of tequila, it means it's no headaches, no hangovers. And most people, most people, think about tequila that it's either that you're gonna get effed up, or you getting into relations. But the thing is that with our tequila, it's we have it in a wine bottle, but most importantly, we want you to enjoy it like a wine. And we're 100% black owned. It was me and two African American male owners, and the thing is that we take pride in our tequila. It's that we all our tagline is good tequila should never taste bad.
Mm-hmm.
And
Yeah.
that's the thing about tequila, because the tequila that has been going to America, because America now, of course, is the number one consumer of tequila. It's the tequila that that you have to have some type of mixer. You got to have some type of salt, sugar. You got to have
The
limes. You got
lime, yeah.
you got to dress it up basically to hide the taste. And so, but I always say I enjoy it chilled or just right on the rocks. And I gotten spoiled by drinking and organic tequila. Um, the way I got into it, the business was that I was approached because I was in radio and TV for 20 years,
Ah,
and I was
I think that's something all three of us have in common, actually.
yeah, yeah. So I was consulting radio stations down in Mexico, Mexico City, and the thing was is I was approached with the opportunity of joining the ownership team with Talero Tequila. And the thing was is like I said I've tasted so many tequilas because we had a tequila bar right next to my university because I went there for
Oh
grad school.
boy.
And so my thing was that I had it had to taste good, for me to get behind it. And I've always said that,
Mhm.
and so when I tasted it, I said, this is authentic Mexican tequila, not the tequila for this is tequila. This is Mexican tequila for Mexicans.
Yeah,
You see what I'm saying? There's a difference.
there
Whereas the
is.
Mexican tequila for Americans, totally different. And so I jumped on board from then on, and we've been named Tequila of the Year in China and Brand of Promise by Tequila Aficionado magazine. And we said before, we are now we deliver now to 44 states with our website, and we're in 22 states. And I always say that like this, if we had a bad tasting tequila, or just a regular tequila, we would have been out of business a long time ago.
Yeah.
So that's a testament to the taste and the power of the product.
I can literally like stand by that because I've gotten to try it. And speaking of Tolero, I have myself a bottle right here. So I'm gonna go ahead and crack this thing open. Nick came by and let me taste it. And so before I was doing the
Yeah, babe.
radio thing,
Yeah,
I was also in the wine and
like a
spirits
limited edition
industry.
cup.
Oh, I got to get one of those.
Yeah,
I'm just gonna put it in my wine glass because, like you said, I could sip it like a wine. So,
yeah. You might want to put a couple ice cubes in. Is it hot?
oh no, I threw it in the freezer.
Oh, yeah, there you go.
Yeah,
There
I'm
you go.
prepared.
Yeah, chill it.
So, salute.
Salud.
Hold up, hold up, hold up, hold up. Don't leave me out.
See, I did a pregame.
Oh, I also want to toast to my engagement.
Oh,
yeah.
wow.
This
Congratulations on your
this is I haven't told my listenership that yet. So yeah, I'm
Salute.
engaged. Thank you. But
Salute.
to everybody.
Wow.
That's one thing that you talked about that because I don't drink liquor hardly at all anymore.
Mm.
And when I came across Ben and I was a big tequila drinker in my snow skiing days. And it's funny you said that, Ben. I never even thought about it, but every tequila that I thought was super high end, I always had a lime or some salt, and that just brought me back down memory lane. So I'm thinking,
Mm-hmm.
great, I ain't put a lime or nothing on this. This is just
Right.
straight smooth.
Yeah.
And it's so funny. I had the bottle for the longest, Ben. Look at it. It's pretty much
There you
gone.
go. You babysitting it.
Right. I mean, it's so good and it got no kickback, no nothing, and no headache that, dude, I'm drinking more of this than I should be drinking.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, you should
Now, I
be.
drink responsibly, ladies and gentlemen, and I drink in my house.
Of course.
So did you know? But that's a testament to it because I used to pride myself in drinking the best tequilas, but this is the best on the planet. And
Yeah.
that's one of the reasons, Ramsey, why we formed, a relationship. And Talero was, very gracious to sponsor our program, man. And
That's awesome.
I normally would never have a
Congratulations
sponsor,
on that, guys. Both of you.
Mhm.
liquor, but this is the
Appreciate it.
best.
Yeah, it so I used to work in the spirits industry for quite a while. So like to see a black owned tequila, like you don't generally see black owned spirits. You'll see like the black owned wine companies. But
Right.
to see like a black owned spirits company, not only retail, but like self distributed, like
Right.
that's wild impressive. Like I'm sure my listeners don't really know what that means, but it's crazy impressive because you're not going through a middleman. You're not and I imagine it's a hard industry to get in because it's
Yes.
not a lot of us there.
No.
Oh,
No.
absolutely, man. There's a lot of barriers to business for Ben and his two black partners, and from a financial standpoint, man, I was excited about that because I said, hey, man, this is something we could get behind and help facilitate, open up some doors, the resources and stuff like that because we want to see them win, and the fact that it's 100% organic,
Yeah,
that's one
yeah,
thing
you never see
I
that.
really love because you're
Mhm.
never gonna see that, not right now. That's early adoption, cutting edge in of
Yeah,
itself
absolutely.
because it makes it even more expensive to make without the pesticides. A lot of times people don't
Oh yeah.
realize that as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
Because
And
we're in the same distillery house with Casamigos, Avion, and Clase Azul.
okay.
So and we're the only ones that have the intellectual property, the organic certification, and the organic patent, and in that distillery house to do organic
Yeah.
tequila. So
And
nobody, so they can't. Casamigos, Avion, or nor Clase Azul can do organic tequila.
and so funny. Right before I met Ben, my last tequila literally was Casamigo that somebody
Mhm.
gave me
yeah.
for a birthday the year before, and man, I put them bad boys side by side, and my partner came over. He was like, "Dude, throw that stuff away, man. Throw that Casamigo away."
Yep.
Because it was just sitting up on my shelf, and it was like 3/4 full, and he was like, "Dude, throw that away, bro."
Yeah, like honestly, I used to swear by Casamigos, and then I tried Tolero. This is the first Blanco that tastes like an añejo to me.
Yeah, exactly. I always tell people that. Yeah, because
Like,
when we got named Tequila of the Year in China, we actually went against Añejos and Reposados and
wow,
beat them. Yeah, so I
wow.
mean, it's just it's the clean, smooth taste of it, But still, people, we're coming out with the añejo and reposado in the summer in July. But the
Okay,
thing
that was
was
going to
is
be my
that
question.
yeah, that's the next one. And but the thing is also is that we can't call the añejo and reposado organic due to it being in the cast barrels.
Mm-hmm.
And so we're going to position as natural.
Okay.
Yeah, natural tequila. But yeah, I mean, it's getting into the liquor business. A lot of people think it's easy. It's like it's very capital intensive. Uh, you know, uh, and you say the reason why we're doing through ToleroTequila.com, we do have distributors in 22 states, but in 25 states now. But the thing was is that the old archaic way of distributing your liquor is going by the wayside due to COVID. I mean, COVID was actually
Mm-hmm.
a blessing for the spirits industry or for small retail, independent producers like us, because if you say for people didn't want to go, they couldn't go to the clubs, couldn't go to bars,
Mm.
couldn't go to restaurants. A lot of them didn't want to go to liquor stores because just the interaction, and it was just like a lot of strict rules. So, we got approached actually by a company that, does, that could set up our website for us and hook up our website and deliver, right to to your door in
Wow.
4 states. So that was, and that gives us more engagement, more control. Because, I'd say the old way was you had to go to a distributor. Hopefully they'll pick you up. If they pick you up, they're going to ask you how much you got behind your marketing budget.
Mm-hmm.
And, for like, there's really like, you said before, there's only 4 or 5 major distributors in the nation. And so if you're not talking $250,000 per market in marketing and branding, they're not going to even let you in the door.
Yeah.
So, and then you got to deal with the government in some states, and it's just, it's a very complicated business. And it's you say before, if that's why you say, like, you see now a lot of brands are coming out, they had to have celebrities behind them because the celebrities had that capital.
Yeah.
Get involved,
And social currency on
exactly.
Top of that. Yeah.
Because The Rock, has his tequila,
Mm-hmm.
but he has 30 million Instagram followers.
Yeah.
And so they said he sold 300,000 cases, in his first year. And I was like, I hope so. You got 30 million
Yeah.
Instagram followers. I mean, that to get to to do 1%, that's what you're supposed to do.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, if he didn't do less than, if he did less than that,
yeah. And probably same with Jordan, although like his brand is like I don't see how the average person at home is gonna buy that unless it's a special occasion, to be honest. So
yeah. But I mean, Casamigos is another testament to itself. I mean, you had George Clooney.
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
Yeah, and they had George Clooney and Randy Gerber, who was a restaurateur out in L.A., famous restaurateur, and they basically started off as a craft tequila, and then they were just basically giving it out to all the celebrity friends. Boom, boom, boom. Next thing you know, they got bought for $1 billion in 2019.
Yeah, it's crazy.
And they only sold 125,000 cases worldwide.
Wow.
I didn't know that.
I didn't know they sold that little bit amount.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Man,
wow.
I'm excited.
125,000 cases, man.
Man, I'm excited, bro.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I was like,
you just got me fired up.
Yeah, that's what I said. I was like, yeah, because when they notified us, they were like, yeah, Casamigos is now under Diageo. I was like, Bacardi, and they were like, what? I was like, how much they paid for them? They were like, dude, you won't believe it. They paid them $1 billion.
Yeah.
They paid $700,000 for the tequila, and then they gave $300 million to George Clooney to further market and brand it.
So if it only takes 125,000 to do that, wait till people taste Talero.
That's what I'm telling you, man. I mean, that's what I'm jacked up because, like I said, I had that Casamigo in my house for over a year.
Right.
And was sipping on it, like it's pretty good.
Right.
Yeah.
But I was just sipping on it. But then, dude, I broke up in this Talero, and my boy broke up. I think we sent you a text because my boy was over here, helping me with some repairs in my house after the freeze, in Texas.
Right.
And he was like, "Hey man, you ain't got to pay me now, but whip up some food and crack open some drinks." I said, "Man, I got this bottle of Talero." We cracked that open. Next thing I know, I almost gone. He was like, "Dude, throw that other stuff out."
Yeah. Yeah.
We hit Ben up because he's frat, and he started set out to all his frat brothers. It was hilarious.
Oh, you guys are both alphas?
You said what?
You guys are both alphas?
No, not me personally. Ben, I think Ben is right.
Oh,
yeah,
okay.
I'm alpha.
But my partner is an alpha. Me,
okay.
I'm a GDI.
I'm a GDI as well.
Proud to be a GDI.
What about me?
I grew up in a crimson and cream house, and then my uncle's an alpha. So
okay.
it's almost blasphemy that I'm a GDI, but it's fine.
It happened.
It was better be a GDI or come home
right
the right colors. So
right.
On that note, we're gonna take a quick break, and when we come back, we're gonna continue our episode of A Side B Side podcast. I'm forgetting the name of it, man. It's Talero.
Hi, I'm DJ the Money Coach. Don't touch that dial. You want to become financially independent? You want to have consumer debt freedom? You want to have passive income, learn how to build a business, acquire real estate, and achieve the lifestyle you deserve in 2021? Well, hit that link below right now. We've worked with over 20,000 people in the past 2 decades, helping them become consumer debt free, increase their credit scores by 30 to 60 points in 30 days or less, and help them acquire businesses through real estate, taxes, and a network of experts just like me. So you'll get a complete 3-hour, 18-module course called Family Finance 101 that'll teach you A to Z how to become consumer debt free, credit worthy, and it put you in position to become a certified entrepreneur. We'll also give you a complimentary consultation with me that's a $500 value. Why would you want to do that? Because I have already achieved that, and I can help you achieve your American dream in 2021. Hit the link below, get the free webinar and the complimentary consultation, and I'll see you soon and wish you a pom-pom lifestyle that's plenty of money and peace of mind. Come join us.
But yeah, we're back. I might keep all of that. I'm not 100% sure. I think it's good content. It's definitely a hell of a story.
True story.
I am Ramsey Said What. We're not here for me right now, though. I want to ask, how did you guys, DJ? How did you guys meet?
Oh man, that's a great question. So Ben and I, we belong to an organization. It's called AMAC, and that's the Airport Minority Advisory Council for the airports across the country. So for anybody that is a minority that's doing business in the airport industry, typically will be a member of this organization. So I think Ben and I might have joined around the same time. I think he joined a little bit earlier than I did. And then I actually had a speaking engagement with AMAC where they do these expert series on a podcast webinar to all their members like Ben and I. So I had did a financial education webinar for them last year. And then we were, before the pandemic, both were destined to actually do their main conference in June. So that got canceled.
Yeah.
And then just matter of factly, they do like these happy hour type virtual get-togethers for minority owners. And honestly, I don't even go to stuff like that ever again, because that's so past what I do now, you know, in my life. But I just didn't have nothing to do that day. Yep. And I just happened to jump into the virtual what you call happy hour event, and everybody's introducing themselves. And Ben started talking about what he do and what he from. It was so funny that we lived in the same cities, maybe around about some of the same timeline as well. Because I'm from Chicago, and he was at the largest Black radio station, running the station while I was in Chicago. You know, and of course we don't know this because this was in our past. And then he's from Cali. I lived in Cali, not far from where he was, and he was running a radio station there. And then where I'm at now in Texas, he happened to work at the largest Black radio station. So I'm like, oh man, this dude cool as hell. So we side chatting, and we talk about stuff like, damn, man, dude, we need to hang out.
Yeah,
right. All of a sudden, it was just like, man, I'm like, dude, this is a cool dude. We done all this stuff, you know, parallel in another, you know, world. And then I was like, hey man, what do you do? And then he told me, hey man, you know, I do, you know, I own Talero. And I was like, oh man, that's cool, man. You own Talero. I love, you know, tequila. And we just started chopping it up, man. And from there, the rest is history, man. I'll let Ben tell his side of the story.
Yeah, I mean, it was basically the same thing too, because, you know, I was so zoomed out. I was like, you know. But, you know, it was like one of those days, you know, you're like, all right, well, I ain't got nothing to do. So, you know, it's before we got our shots. So, you know, I wasn't going out, so might as well get on. And you know, and that's the thing about the you know, the AMAC conference, because you go there, because I joined in 2018, but I went to the first conference in 2019. in LA.
Mhm.
And it's just like the liquor world, the concessionaire world is, for blacks and Latinos is very small. I mean, it's, the whites, they get in, they get 80% of the retail that's in the airports,
Mhm.
and then they just leave the crumbs for the blacks and the
Mm.
Latinos. And
Yeah.
so it allows us to come there and actually do some real work and real make some real connections. And you said before, that's what I like about it, because people were on the call. It's the egos go to the side.
Yep, yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, I did love that. You know what? That's a great
Yeah,
point because
because
that was one of the things I didn't like about going to those type of events. Everybody's trying to posture,
right.
but it was
Yeah.
none of that at this
Yeah.
event with all these high level accomplished people in our community.
Because I mean, it's like, because I mean, just like the ones who are like making $1 million, multi-million dollars a year, they still feel like they're still outside the country club,
Mm.
you know. And so you get those people, they're like, yeah, man, we need to stick together and have cooperative economics, within within black people, because it's a lot of you said before, that mentality of I got mine, you get yours, however you get it, but I got mine. And I'm gonna tell you how I got mine, and then that's it.
Mhm.
If you call me, you might get me. You don't, but I got mine, and I'm just gonna protect mine. Because if I
Yeah.
bring another person in there, they might take the money out of my pocket.
Right.
Yeah.
The
Yeah.
special, what I call the special elected Negro.
Yeah,
You know,
exactly. That,
that
that,
that
that,
and it's so funny you say that because I actually got introduced to AMAC from Marshall Taggart, who's the CEO
oh
first
yeah,
ever for the Montgomery Regional Airport. And the
yeah.
reason why that happened, Jonathan, is because in my profession as a financial educator, I actually do financial education for uh, Fortune 1000 companies, and Montgomery Regional Airport was a client of mine. So I actually
Oh.
serviced their whole airport first time ever that we actually did their whole employee staff and taught them financial education training, teaching them about consumer debt, teaching about increasing their credit scores, teaching about how to actually exit out of retirement and still not pay a buku of taxes on their 403bs or their 401ks. And we did such an extraordinary job is that Marshall was like, hey man, I think this could benefit, other airports. And the best way for you to connect to build relationships, you need to become a member of AMAC. So he just, hooked me up and told me about them guys, and I plugged in, and it's been one of the best moves that I've
Mhm.
ever made in my business career because it exposed me to people, like Ben, and
Yeah.
have met 6, 7 other great people from the organization. Like Ben said, no egos, and a lot of these people do very well in life. Just in general, as an American, they do better than probably
Yeah.
5% of people in America.
Yeah.
But you would never know that because they were laid back, easy to engage with. So
Hmm.
shout outs to AMAC. And man, I'm excited for the upcoming virtual conference that they're going to be having at AMAC as well.
Yeah.
Do
Well,
do
yeah, I'm looking forward to when we can get back together, in person, because
yeah.
that LA conference was, it was, once I hate to say it, once you find out, and once they found out, I own, co-owned a tequila, they were like, oh, whoa, 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 you need to come over here, you need to meet this person, you need to meet this person,
Mhm.
blah, blah, blah.
Yep.
You need to talk to this person, because it was like, because they're like, there's very few of you.
Yeah.
And because I mean, we got that I got that stark eye-opening thing was when there's this called the Wine and Spirits Wholesaler Show
Mhm.
in Las Vegas, and I went out there. Me and Coda went out there. My partner, Coda Subtle, he went out there, and it was maybe about 400 brands of liquor and wine. And I mean, literally, they got us in a little huddle, and it was like 5 or 6 of us, black people. That
Mm.
was it,
Mm,
out of 400.
Wow.
And and we looked like, it felt like, being, it felt like my days of being a token at, at a Catholic school.
yeah.
It was
Yeah.
just like literally we were just specks of pepper in a salt shaker.
Yeah.
You know, and you know, that's what happens.
So DJ, you were talking earlier when you introduced yourself, you were talking about how you've worked with like 20,000 people about financial planning and help. Uh that's amazing. Like how do you even, like, one, obviously you've you've done what you needed to do on your own personal front and then your business front, but how do you even get that kind of reach to reach people and then have success helping them?
You know, Ramsey, that's a great question. That may sound like a lot of people, but you got to think about it. I've been doing this since 2002. So
Okay.
if you actually just break those numbers down, that's 20
20
years.
years, yeah.
That's only 1,000 people a year, which is only about 83 people a month.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So some of the groups that I've worked with actually gave us the bandwidth. So when I worked at the churches, you know, there's a few mega churches in
Yeah.
Chicago.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I would sit down in front of 700-800 people at a time, you know, when we
Gotcha.
first got this jumped off. And then
Yeah.
when we did such a great job there, Ramsey, now people recommended me to the YMCA. And then I end up doing the YMCA, like 5 or 6, 7 YMCAs. So
Okay.
that would then put me in front of another 2, 3,000 people. You know what I'm saying?
Got you.
So then from there, by doing a great job, we start getting referrals and endorsement from the directors of the YMCA saying, hey, man, this is a great financial education program, because even at their level, they didn't understand the basics of finances, where how important it is to have an emergency fund.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and a
Yeah.
lot of people, you know, poo-poo that and be like, oh man, that doesn't make me any money. But guess what? In the pandemic, and you get furloughed
Yep.
or you get fired or laid off, now you got to go into them credit cards, because most Americans who are professional Americans. So let me share this with you, that I'm a niche oriented financial educator, number one.
Okay.
I only work with the middle class. And why? Because here's why. You're two professionals. 9 out of 10 times, you, Ramsey, and Ben, you're not going to go get advice at Edward Jones or Jackson Hewitt. I'm
Yeah.
not casting dispersion on them, but those are the Walmarts of
Yeah.
the financial industry.
I
Yeah.
agree.
But you have such a high level of education, master degree, stuff like that. You generally want to go and have Goldman Sachs,
Hmm.
you know, Merrill Lynch, and them work with you. But you know what? If you don't have a $500,000 liquidable assets,
Nope.
and you're not an accredited
Yeah.
investor, meaning you have
Not
to
going.
make $200,000 a year for 3 years straight tax returns, you're now in a donut where you don't have anybody really work with you that gets you from an educational standpoint, and
Mm.
you don't want to work with that cheap person. So I created a niche where anybody that's professionally based, that coming out of college, that makes 35 to 45,000 as a single person, and as
Yeah.
a couple or married makes 150,000. I created a niche to teach financial education to those people. And what I found out is that those people have most of the problem, because they bear the burden of middle class, because
Yeah.
they have a lot of credit card debt.
Yeah.
So you get out of college and you get that first real job. What's the first thing you want to get? You want to get that house.
Yep.
But most brothers, first thing they do is go get that whip.
Hmm.
They go buy that
Yeah.
40, 50, 60, $70,000 car. And guess what? They ain't paying cash for it, brother.
No.
They leasing it.
And now that's 20,000 more in debt.
Exactly. So what ends up happening is that now the word gets out, and then the Federal Reserve says, hey man, I heard you've been doing a great program. Can you come talk to our people? And then you'll have the state of Illinois Attorney General's office. They're actually young attorney generals. They had their boss said, hey, I need to have you teach my young attorney generals about financing so that they can have some money, because they don't pay them anything. I
Mm.
mean, at the state of Illinois, the young attorney generals, you know, prosecutors, they were making at the time in 2005 like $40,000.
Yeah.
After they come out of school with a JD and they got 80, $100,000 in debt because they serve in the community,
Yeah.
they making no money, but they building their craft. So from there, state of Michigan, state senator's office asked me to come in and do talks about predatory lending. And
Yep.
from there, it just spawned out where the word started getting out that this is the best financial education platform for middle class America. And then that's how we got to, it's a shame that I haven't done more, to be honest with you.
Mm.
I feel that we should already impacted 100,000 people, because guess what? The counterparts, and I don't mind saying who they are, the Dave Ramsey, the Susie Ormans of the world,
Mhm.
they've impacted millions over the same period of time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So my 20,000, dude, just like Ben just said, that ain't nothing but a thimble of a drop of water in the ocean.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
but you know what the great thing is now, because the internet, people are starting to hear about us. So what we basically do, we go onto influencers platforms, we share the gospel, and we show them the hard facts of how you can get these things taken care of. And by them getting engaged in that course, people start sharing that to them. And then when they see that I'm the real deal, that I've gone and done what they trying to do, I've been an investor successfully, I've owned businesses successfully. So I've been through the great, recession.
Yeah.
So, and my business has grown, 20, 30% since. And in the past 12 months, we've grown by almost 60, 70%.
Wow.
Just helping the basic guy and gal that look like you and me to get their consumer debt freedom under control, get their credit increased, and then show them how to invest from the fundamentals versus out here trying to just be a ball.
So both of you guys are talking about success stories in the past 12 months, and the past 12 months for most of America has not looked like this.
No,
So
not at all. Not at all.
like for
Not at all. Yeah.
I'll say this, my last 12 months has been a whirlwind.
Yeah.
I
agree.
I went from working in office during the pandemic to being furloughed to being unemployed to being working part-time to now back where I was supposed to be the whole time.
So think about that, Ramsey.
Yeah.
In the process of that furlough, part-time and laid off, what resource did you had to go to other than credit cards if you didn't have 6, 12, 18 months of emergency funds set aside? Real talk.
Real talk. I might have had about 6 months of emergency funds.
Yeah. So, but it was being eaten up rapidly.
Oh yeah, my credit got eaten up.
Exactly.
Until a stimulus came around to get me back together.
Exactly. And guess what? Most of the middle class, even the predominantly white middle class, are in the same boat. But you know what?
Absolutely.
Because of our pride and our status, we're not supposed to have those problems.
Yeah.
Right.
But we all do. And here's the funny thing that a lot of people don't realize. People think that your circle, if I make 6 figures, which I do, everybody I hang out with, I think that everybody in the world makes 6 figures. But that's not the case. You go to the IRS.gov, look at the tax returns, and only 5% of Americans make $100,000 a year.
Yeah.
Only 20% of Americans, I'm talking about individuals, make $60,000 a year.
Yeah.
And that ain't a lot of money, bro. But when you hop on these media platforms, you look and think that everybody's making 6 figures and everybody's making millions of dollars a year. That's all a lie, man.
Everybody's
living $100,000 lifestyles that they can't afford.
Yeah.
And
everybody's crazy. They were saying like if you I think it was 80% of Americans can't afford, if like you said, if emergency happened or a medical emergency happened, they're done.
Yeah.
Yeah. They really only have like $400 to $1,000 in the bank. That's for most Americans.
Yeah.
Because I mean, think about it. We went through one recession in 2008, and then we went through another recession in 2020.
Yeah.
And so like just the first recession I was making 6 figures plus. I was, thank God, knock on wood, and then I was able to get my house very cheap, knock on wood. But when this recession hit, I'll be the first one to admit it hit me hard because I'm an entrepreneur, and we were relying on contracts, and all those contracts went out the door. Yeah. So I mean, I had to go to friends and family, and max out the cards.
Yeah. It's crazy because I feel like, so I threw an R&B show. The last concert we threw, Feels Like R&B 2. That was in February of last year. And then March, everything's done.
Yeah.
I was like maybe a week away from signing a contract for a residency at an event venue for doing something monthly, a steady income for like you. I'm also an entrepreneur. So obviously entertainment just took a crazy hit.
Man, dude, where are the entertainment? And this is what I always pose people. I said, now you're gonna see how they really living because 80% of those entertainers that was on Broad Street, crickets, brother.
Yeah.
Without the concerts, without the merch,
yeah,
and the visibility, they're not making any real money. People think they're making money from their albums and their streams. No,
their labels are making money
streaming
from their
companies
albums.
are making that
Yeah.
money. I mean, Ben will tell you that all day. And guess what? Just like you guys, we had major banks about to do a tour. We were in contract negotiations with Chase Bank to do a 7 to 20 city tour teaching financial education to Black professional men across the country, and that got shut down. And that was going to be about $25,000 to $50,000 per.
Yeah.
But you know what? Because I'm an entrepreneur just like you guys, and like Ben said, I went through the Great Recession and I knew how money works. I was prepared for that. And I actually started building back my fundamental base back in 2015. I went online and started doing Zoom meetings with my clients before other financial planners were doing it. And so fast forward to the pandemic, people that had no choice but to find a financial educator and a planner, you can tell when somebody's the real deal. They can see how easy, because when people engage with us, first thing we do is we give them a complimentary consultation, Ramsey, and they have to fill out a budget sheet. They have to take a 10-question survey. Just ask them basic questions. How do you feel about your money? How do you feel about your credit card debt? Do you have, your college, fund paid for your kid? And we get right to the thick of the things. Well, I don't even meet with them. Then when they hop on this platform, they know that I've been doing it for a long time. That's why our business grew by 60, 70% during the pandemic.
That's amazing.
And
it's a necessity.
Core information that everybody needs. That ain't sexy, but it really is, because when you consumer debt free, brother, you can live on $100,000 like a millionaire. And I teach that in our Family Finance 101 course. And yesterday we did a webinar. We probably had 5, 6 people on there that made, close to $250,000 a year. And I told them some basic things about, hey, do you have a will? No. Oh, do you have 12 months emergency fund? Oh, I had 6 and it's all gone. Oh, did you refinance your house? Yeah, I had to be able to live off some of the equity in my home. You know what? Those people all signed up for our course and bought our special and already have signed up for meetings with me. But these were people making close to $250,000.
Yeah.
Because privately, they have quiet desperation, like Thoreau said. From the neck up, they're suffering, but they look pretty outside. But see, I know 80% of them, their homes they're over the head in their home mortgage because they bought too much house. 9 out of 10 times before the interest rates went down to nothing, they were over. And 85% of people in America lease luxury cars. If your car costs $40,000 and up, 85% of those cars are leased. If you're Black, like 92%.
Yeah, I was gonna say that number goes up for sure.
You see what I'm saying? But guess how I roll? I got a 2002 Toyota Avalon that I bought in 2007 cash for $8,000. So I don't have a car note, and I'm trying to impress you because I got money in the bank. And my members who come through our program, they got money in the bank.
Yeah, I just had to scoop up a new car, but I was driving a 2005 Chevy Cobalt, paid cash while I was in college too. It's the craziest thing. Yeah, that thing got like 230,000 miles on it. It was time.
Yeah, when the time is due to ride the wheels off. But I always tell people this, Ramsey and Ben. I say, hey man, when I want the Ferrari experience, you know what I do? I go rent it for the weekend.
There you go.
And you know what I do? I rent it in my company, and it becomes a tax write-off.
Yep, and I was gonna say, and then you write it off.
So I call Ben. I'll be like, hey man, Ben, let's talk about Talero. I'm gonna get this Ferrari, and we're gonna go have us a good time.
Exactly.
And we're gonna enjoy it, and it's gonna be a tax write-off, unfortunately.
Yeah, that's what I did with my leases before, when I was in the radio biz, because I made sure that my lease was written off every time.
Exactly.
Yeah, I mean now I'm driving a 2015 Volvo, and it just it was my I say I just because I was driving before that I was driving a 2012 Ford Focus. This is a PSA, people. Do not buy anything a Ford Focus from 2012 to 2015. because it was
Recalled?
recalled 3 times
Oh
already.
man.
Yeah, so do not buy. I tell you, if you want to tell your listeners, do not buy Fords if they were made between 2012 and 2015. So I'm in the class action lawsuot. So I had
Oh
too
man.
many. So, yeah, and so I had so my mom. My mom had you say, it's always good to have good people in your family, and my mom she lives and dies by Volvos, and she was like, I'm not driving anymore, so here you go.
Oh, there
So
you go.
you know you know my friends are all now on Teslas and
Yeah.
the new Audi e-trons and
There you
everything.
go. There you go. And they probably doing it smart. See, that's the thing, man. You got to surround yourself around. I always tell people, Ramsey and Ben, I say, hey, man, there's 3 things in terms of having mentorship. Number 1, only take advice from people who are further down the road where you're trying to go.
Yeah.
Emulate the principles of success that they have. And that first step is, in leadership. That's number 1. Okay.
Mm.
Number 2, take advice from somebody who is a business, success story through, the Great Recession and everything. And I always tell people this. I say, hey, you know what? I don't take advice from people who haven't lost money. Here's the reason why. Because if you're telling me you're making all this, doing all that great stuff, either one or 2 things. You're either lying to me, or guess what? A
did this
huge
long.
downfall is on the shore, because everybody who's been in business for a while is going to have some type of setback, because that's the learning curve that you have to go through. So I take advice from those people.
Those are the greatest teachers.
Exactly. And then the third one is, from a spiritual standpoint, no matter where you are, I only take advice from people, from a spiritual standpoint to have success. So you're about to get married, in the near future, Ramsey, I would only take advice from somebody who's been 20, 30
that's
years
a fact. Yeah.
married, not my divorced friends, because all they're gonna do is tell you about the divorce experience.
Yeah.
And they're gonna side up, because single people want people to be single, married people want people to stay married.
That's
you
a
know
fact.
what I'm saying? It's just common, but common sense ain't common knowledge to most folks.
That's a fact. I feel like we've been. She not listening to me. I feel like we've been just talking to both of our parents. They've been married a combined like 50 something years. So
Man,
I guess
awesome.
I guess they still like each other.
Years.
Yeah.
Man, that's phenomenal. Yeah, man, that's the thing, man. People don't realize that, and they're trying to break down the Black, core nucleus: Black man, Black woman, Black children. That's what they're trying to do in society. That's my PSA. That's another story. But if you can get that advice, when I went down the aisle, I had a list. A lot of people I had, number 1, my spouse had to come from a family that's together married 45 years.
Oh wow.
You know what I'm saying?
Wow.
Number 2, you got to support my dream as a man, and especially as a Black man.
That's true.
I'm not saying being subservient. I'm saying being submission and cooperative.
Yeah.
Mission and cooperative. Be my business partner, my spiritual partner,
Amen.
my entrepreneur partner in every aspect of the game.
Yeah.
And then I listed, the other, physical attributes, because I learned through trial and error, and we don't do that anymore. And how's that relative to financing? Because the 2 most important decisions you're gonna make in your life is the person you marry. They can either make you better financially, or they can drag you down.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's real talk.
Yeah.
Yep.
It really is.
So when you sit down with somebody, most times they're together. 9 out of 10 times they're not, and that's what breaks them up. Religion and money breaks up households more than anything else.
You got to be equally yoked, even financially.
Exactly, and that's why we get right back to the family finance 101 and talk to them step by step by step. And the beauty of people like Ben.
Yeah. Especially if you're an entrepreneur. I mean, because being an entrepreneur is the hardest job. Being married, my dad's a psychologist, marriage counselor. He's like, being married and being an entrepreneur are the 2 hardest jobs that you're gonna ever have in your life.
Yeah. You go so long without a salary. You go so long just spending money and spending money.
I haven't taken a salary in 3 years.
You hear that?
Wow.
Because he's investing in Talero.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
He's all in, man.
Yeah.
And a lot of people ain't doing it. They, oh man, I got the side hustle here, the side hustle there. Hey man, how about master one business at a time?
Exactly.
So how did the 2 of you go about paying yourselves once like your products start making some money? Because that's something I feel like personally I've struggled with.
Right.
Either like one concert I might pay myself too much, or the other I just put it all away, and I never have that like medium, or how I have no know-how about going about that. So what would you guys
I'm gonna let
suggest?
Ben answer that first.
That's the Milton. They say that's the $1 million question, because it's like, because you say, when I took my business classes, it was always say, you pay yourself commiserate to where it will only take 20 to 25% of the total of what you brought in. Because a lot of times, when you bring in, let's say you bring in $100,000, you like, okay, I got 70, I'll pay myself 75,000, because I don't want to put that together.
That's the way everybody thinks.
You can't, because after that you got to think about the next 6 months. You get that next 100,000. You got to plant seeds for that. So usually if you get 100,000 coming in, you take 30,000, and then you have the other 70,000 for operations, expenses, marketing and branding, and then also as you said before, that one contract might go to the wayside. So then you gotta go out and hustle again, because you have to think that you said before, you have to keep on playing and being in the game, like you playing for that next contract. Because
Man,
a lot of people get that one big contract, and they're like, I'm cool, and then they spend it, they spend all the thing, and then they think that that gravy train is going to keep going, and then next thing you know,
you're at square one,
and they don't realize that lifestyle expenses keep going after that contract has been matured, which means you ain't getting no more money, and that's a lot in the entertainment industry, isn't it, Ben?
Yes.
I mean, both you and Ramsey can attest to that.
Oh yeah.
So what I tell you, what we do is real simple. First thing is I downsized my lifestyle when I decided to become an entrepreneur. And see, that ain't sexy, baby. I went from living in a 2,200 square foot house. I'm talking about when I started my first business, which was back in 1997. So I was living out in the suburbs, and Ben, I was living out in Schaumburg, and Schaumburg's, pretty pricey. I had a nice house, probably like $250,000 house. This is back in the late 90s, early 2000s, So when I started my first business, which was a cleaning company, White Glove Immaculate Services, I sold my house, took the profit, I moved back into the hood, into a 1-bedroom apartment, and I paid my rent 6 months in advance, because I knew I had to go out there and hit them streets and hustle selling this cleaning product to regular people, businesses, and stuff like that. So first thing, I knew what my number was. So my number to handle my reoccurring expenses, so if I didn't get them contracts, was about $2,500 a month. But my number before that, Ramsey, was like $5,000-$6,000 in expenses, overhead, house, and stuff like that. See, nowadays, most people, they want to keep the lifestyle they got and be an entrepreneur. Dude, that very rarely turns out well. Okay.
And people don't know their number. They don't know what their budget is.
They don't
want
even
a lifestyle, and they don't know how much it costs.
Yeah, and it's especially in liquor. I mean, the liquor is a lifestyle. You gotta be on the yacht. You gotta be. You gotta have a lot of these girls. That's where you said before. A lot of liquor brands have gone out of business, because you spend. You gotta sponsor all these events. You gotta do all this. You gotta look bigger than you are. It's because you're selling a lifestyle, supposedly, right? And so our way of, and there was this podcast called How I Built This. It was it was a guy who started Tito's, and he started most people don't know, Tito's has been around since the late 90s.
Wow.
I didn't know that.
Exactly. So Tito's is now where it is, because you never saw him in videos, and
Yeah.
Big lavish productions. He just went to, events and affairs and everything, and just met people one by one and said, this is a vodka, out of Texas, because most vodkas at that time were coming from France and Russia or Poland.
Yeah. Yeah.
So and so you actually got to meet the guy who he made it, and he said he just he had like a little RV, and he would just go and just drive to different events and fairs and just have tastings, and and people were like, wow, this is great, and
Yeah.
it's not a fancy bottle. He only has one flavor.
Yeah. Yeah. It's
Like
I
Henry
mean,
Ford,
yeah.
you can have any color you want in a car as long as it's black.
Right. But,
Yeah.
but I mean, as I say, but remember, vodkas were like, you could get, peach, watermelon,
Yeah.
grape. It was like all these, cotton candy, Krispy Kreme
Yeah.
flavor vodkas. Tito's is like, we just do vodka.
Yeah.
That's it. That,
It's,
you know,
we make it from potatoes instead of wheat, and that's
exactly.
about it.
Yeah, that's it. And it's made in America. And that was it.
Yeah.
And then he said it really blew up when the recession happened in '08, because people were starting looking for American products.
Mm.
And then that was it. And then now Tito's is, I mean, really, I mean, I had to say it. I mean, it's the biggest vodka. I hate to
Yeah.
As far as I know, because I'm in Texas, and I didn't know about them till like about 6-7 years ago. Then all of a sudden it seemed like they were
Yeah.
everywhere.
Right, that's what I'm saying. And but that was, he talked about, he started in the late '90s, and they were like, they were thinking he was crazy because, he said, because Americans don't make vodka, Russians and French and Polish
Yeah.
people do. And it was just like, he said before, and he didn't do, because like, with the liquors, they tell you, you got to have the rapper or the
Hmm.
celebrity,
Yeah.
you got to be in all these videos, you got to be sponsor of some sort of big event, the Grammys or whatever, the Oscars, and so so that's what kind of thing we want to employ, kind of like a grassroots, guerrilla
Yeah.
marketing, to where you say you're doing shows like yours, and I'm not going on Hot 97 or the Box 97.9. I'm not
Hmm.
going on different types of things, you build a groundswell and people will get behind you more.
Yeah, because it's a movement, and that's the thing I
Yeah.
like about Ramsey, about Ben and Coda, is that they have these Zoom DJ parties where they give you a flavor of all different type of DJs in every different region.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And dude, I love that, man. And like you, Ben, I'm not a Zoom guy, but dude, I be looking forward to them Friday nights now.
Yeah.
And before I'd be like, man, I ain't getting into that, but dude, I'm like, that's on my calendar every night. And check this out, Ramsey. We actually start our show early so that we don't miss the
Yeah.
Zoom party.
Right.
Yeah. I tuned into the one, not the one we did a couple weeks ago, but a couple months ago. You guys were like, yeah, after this, we hopping on the Talero. And I was like, all right, I'll do it too. So I
Right.
did go to one of the Zoom parties. If you ever need a house DJ, call your boy. I do DJ as well.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, okay. So my boy Shakim, because this is all for my radio guys, and so
Yeah.
for my radio days. So because they were hit hard by COVID.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
they were DJing clubs, lounges, and
Wow.
and
90% of their income probably went away.
right. But then
Yeah.
they switched to Zoom and
Zoom,
Twitch.
Twitch, yeah.
Yeah, and that was it. And after, in fact, now they're making more money through Twitch.
Less overhead.
Yeah.
Thank
Oh, yeah.
you. They don't have
You
to
at
deal with
home.
the club promoters. They don't have to deal with the club. Don't have to do with promoters, club owners. They don't have to worry about going out and and marketing and everything. They do it
Yeah.
all online.
Play
And then,
whatever you
like
want too.
exactly. Yep. And they can go how far they can do. They can play whatever music they want to.
Yeah.
Because when you used to do clubs, the club manager would tell you, hey, you gotta play these hits because they come in here to dance. We don't
Yep.
want to hear a 20-minute go-go session. You know, because
if you're not in DC, they ain't trying to hear that.
Right, right, yeah, yeah.
That's funny, man. Hats off to our people. We're so creative, man. I have to put hats off because that's a whole new business model that ain't going away now.
Yeah, we adapt. It's crazy.
You know what another thing is? It actually brings back to our culture who created the DJ.
Yeah.
Because these other people have made millions of dollars, 100 times more than our people who created the DJ, who made technique, who made all. But now we come right back because we're creative, and we get right back in the fold. Ain't it funny how God works, man?
Ain't it?
I'd be so excited. So I just had to say that because that's important. Because now that new business model, they can own their own platform, their own brand, and nobody can control them any shape, size, or form because it's beautiful, technology that we've been blessed with. Man, dude, it's amazing, and their marketing is phenomenal. So we're excited about that because the business mindset behind Ben and Coda is so sharp that, dude, Talero is going to be a name brand across the country,
really is.
World before you know it. You heard it here first on the A side, the B side. So 24 months from now, when everybody rocking Talero, y'all better get on this bandwagon right now, baby.
We've been told y'all.
If I'm not mistaken,
like Mike Jones would say, back then they didn't know me. Now how they all on me?
It's a fact.
I'm telling you, man, I don't know if they do, but if they got a way to invest in Talero, man, y'all better knock on the door and get in touch with Ben, brother, because one thing I'm good at is studying trends and hidden gems. And trust me, Talero is a hidden gem. It's gonna hit hard. They're gonna do S-curve economics. So here's S-curve economics. If your listeners don't know what it is. So S-curve economics is where new technologies come into the play, and it's called an early adoption phase. So from 0% to 10% is when the wealthy people can buy stuff like Tesla, okay? Tesla wasn't popping hard until recently over the last 3 years. But before, most people couldn't afford it, but the wealthy people. And then what they do from a marketing standpoint, like Ben says, they find the big actor, the big entertainer, the big sports celeb to put behind it. So when they come through that early adoption phase from 0 to 10%, the market now goes in what they call general acceptance from 10% to 70%, which goes like, if you ever been on a roller coaster and it climbs up that steep climb, that's an S curve. And over that period of time, in 3 to 5 years, 70% of the market is penetrated, and most businesses will go from 1x to 3,000x. Example, Clubhouse, Snapchat, where now in a condensed technology through that S-curve economics, they're making billionaires in 2 to 3 years versus 30 years in 7 years. So Talero is in that early adoption phase, and they're going to hit that S-curve economics. And when it gets to 70%, it just starts to level off. And that's what you're going to see with Tesla now. It's going to grow by 5, maybe 7%, annually, but it's capped. But Talero is at the infancy of that early adoption phase, about to go into general acceptance, and that rocket fuel, 98% to get off the ground, and then gravity pulls the rest. That's where we are right now with Talero, man. That's what I'm excited about. And that's why I was happy that they were willing to sponsor my little bitty show, called the Financial Expert Series with DJ the Money Coach.
Yeah. I mean, what did I tell you when I was last on your show? I was like, yo, man, like this really should be like a $40-$50 bottle. And this is just a Blanco tequila. You were like, nah, they're trying to make it affordable for us to buy it.
Yep.
So But I gotta ask, are you guys public? Can I buy in? Like how?
No. No. My thing is that, me and Coda are we want to have this generational,
Yeah.
I don't have kids, but my partner has 6 kids, so he's building for his kids. God willing, I'm still young enough I can have kids.
You can be like Tony
we
Rackett.
can have them forever.
He had his first seed at 74.
Yeah, right. Like my uncle said.
That sounds like the life.
It's like my uncle said, sperm don't die.
Right. Hey, I love the way they call you Big Papa.
Right. Exactly. But yeah, it's and that's the thing. I saw with radio stations. I put together a lot of IPOs for when Radio One started, with
Oh,
their
wow.
IPO. But I mean, I represented a lot of the black-owned radio stations that got gobbled up by Clear Channel,
Mm-hmm.
MS, and all them. And and now they look at it, they look back at it, they're like, man, I never should have sold off. I never should have
Yeah.
sold. I should, I should have kept it. And yeah, they made 50 million. They made 25 million. From the radio stations, but but they don't have anything to hand to their
Yeah.
grandkids or their
Sure.
kids.
Yep.
Yeah,
You
and
know,
the legacy is damaged now. Like
right?
a lot of these media companies, like they get bought out. Like the Source, for instance. Like
Exactly.
they sold it, and it's crazy. North Star bought it back, but it's like now they're doing damage control for,
Right.
which is crazy for a company that they started. You
Yeah.
know,
I mean, it's
backwards.
like Ebony and Jet.
Oh
Ebony
man,
and
Yeah,
Jet.
that's a sad story, ain't it? Ebony and Jet.
yeah,
Right. Ebony and Jet. Vibe magazine.
yeah,
We just go down the list.
I mean,
Of,
Ebony and Jet sold their whole curation for like $40 million. Are you
right.
kidding me? They sold a whole culture of like 60, 70 years
yeah.
Right.
for mere $40 million. Dude, that's $1 billion
Yeah.
brand.
Johnson H. Johnson is rolling in his grave.
Oh, dude,
Right.
tell me about it.
Right.
I know
If
it.
he would have never done that if he was alive.
No.
Right. I mean, and what's it? Even Bob Johnson from BET, he regrets selling
Yeah.
off the
Oh,
Viacom.
dude, come on, man. Tell me about it.
Yeah.
Because he got $3 billion.
But
He was
Viacom then made 100 off of that. Come on, now.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And now yeah, and BET used to shape culture. It used to
And now
it made
Yeah.
a lot of people's careers.
it's like a
now
laughing joke now,
it
bro.
plays
Yeah.
reruns.
Now they just threw in the same programming for MTV and VH1 and Fuse and everything else they own. It's just a replica of that.
Yeah.
But it's black entertainment television.
Right.
I mean,
But,
that's a sad thing about it. And another thing that Ben and I, we connected on is the cooperative economics
Yeah.
and ecosystem. We are sustainable if we just work together.
Yeah,
Mhm.
all the spending money we got,
Yeah.
Right.
all this consuming we do,
And
of
we-
course.
But we create most of the stuff that becomes pop culture
Yeah.
from our origin, that if we just held on to it, like Ben said, hey man, I got mine, go get yours. If we could just release that and just
Yeah.
be a little bit more pliable and more mendable with each other, dude, it ain't nothing that we can't have that we keep equity and ownership for as long as there's an earth
Yep.
to get that de-indoctrination that we got. And thank goodness that people like Ben and Coda still come from that mindset. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? That true growth mindset. And that's really at the end of the day, Ramsey, what financial education is about, man. You don't see in the Chinese community them doing business with everybody.
No, that's why a Chinatown exists. Like
Exactly.
it's like everybody's figured out a way to gentrify their own neighborhoods.
Where's
does.
Blacktown at?
Yeah, there's Chinatown. There's the Latins that only go to their bodegas. They don't go to ShopRite or Wegmans or wherever. They
Nah.
just go to the bodega to get their food.
Well, as you said before, the tequila, you can only be called a tequila if you're made in Mexico.
Yeah.
You know,
Jalisco specifically, right?
Right, the three states. So Oaxaca, Guadalajara, and Guanajuato. So that's it. I mean, and so I was there when NAFTA started in '96.
Mm-hmm.
And it was at the time 85% of the tequila companies were Mexican owned. Now it's the opposite. 85% of the tequila companies are white owned, or as you say, or foreign owned.
Mm-hmm.
And but the thing is, though, they still have to be made in Mexico. They still got to go through the distilleries.
Yeah.
The distilleries are all Mexican owned. They still got to go through the Mexicans to get it made. So that's kind of like we have to do with ours. You said before, if you want, let's just say you want hip hop, you want you want any type of black, centric product, that you got to go through our community, you got to go through our handlers to handle it. That was, as you said before, that was, I give props to Coda, is that he made sure that no one can produce the organic tequila in our distillery house.
You hear that?
You see
Yeah.
what I'm saying?
That,
So
that was a Reginald F. Lewis move right there, baby.
Yeah.
right, exactly.
Yeah.
Because the next thing what you could come out, Patron could come out with an organic tequila, and then that would be us. That'd be it
Yep.
for us.
Yeah.
So
Think about that. So, man, that's a profound statement you just said, Ben. And I hope the listeners caught it
I hope
and
so.
equate it to the money world. That would be like us being our own central bank or the IMF.
yeah,
There's no currency on the planet that does not go through those two vehicles.
exactly.
You can have your Deutschmark, your yen, your US dollar, your pound, but they all go through the central bank and the IMF.
Yep.
And we should be doing the same thing in our community. I didn't even know that. When Ben told me that the first go around, I was like, wow.
Yeah.
That just blew my top off, man.
Yeah. And I dealt with that because before that I was working with cognacs. Same thing. You can't be called a cognac unless
you're from Cognac, France. Yeah.
Yeah. And if you've ever been to Cognac, France, it looks like it's like Sugarland. Let's go to Sugarland.
Yeah.
And it's like 3-5 roads, and it's a multi-billion companies. And the median income is like $150,000. It's only 25,000 people in the whole city.
Wow.
Yep.
Yeah. But the thing is, if you want to make a cognac, you gotta go through them. You can't, and if you want to own it, you got to have someone of French descent on your board. The same. That's what I'm saying with the black companies. Do not sell off. If you want to sell off, you have to mandate it that you got to be on the board or on an executive board, because if not, that's when you have a BET or you have
right.
Yeah.
We be so quick to get that bag,
right,
and trying to get rich versus getting wealthy.
right.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. Generational wealth.
Right. 3-4 generations minimum.
Yeah. Yeah, and it's the same with champagne in Champagne, France. It's the same with Cabernet from Oakville, California.
Right.
We should do that in every industry that we're in.
So you should ask yourself, why don't we teach ourselves this stuff?
We did. I think we did. But again, it's a mentality.
Yeah. I feel like these days, especially my generation, I feel like we don't know how to start businesses that aren't entertainment or clothing.
Man,
well, yeah, it's not
only
sexy.
things we're interested in.
Yeah, I mean,
none of us think to open up a laundromat, because that's going to be around forever. As long as clothes get dirty, you're going to need to do something like that. We don't think to open up grocery stores, and I don't know what it is.
We'd have to have four A-side, B-side shows to talk about that. Real talk.
Yeah.
Real talk.
Well, you say like it was my family made their money by being morticians, and then they were general practitioners of medicine. So you either came in with my family or you left with my family.
You got to do both. You got to do both.
Right, but being a mortician is not sexy.
No,
no,
not at all.
but it's a great way to make cash, because you don't go shopping around for morticians. Usually it's
you go to the one in the neighborhood.
Yeah, it's like wherever your neighborhood, wherever's good connections, and it's cash. You can't do layaway plans.
Yeah.
And so you either get paid by the will or the insurance, life insurance, or or people just put up their credit cards right then and there. And so that was you said before, like you said, those industries, like you don't see it was like insurance agencies, morticians, a lot, you said before, we got lost into being we wanted to have a sexy product to sell. We when we could when we need to have people do IRS tax services.
Yeah.
Our accounting services or financial investment services.
Yeah, that's a fact.
Because I mean, you say in your field, DJ. I mean, how many black owned financial investment services are there?
man, maybe about 2-3% in the industry.
Wow.
Exactly.
And when it comes to actual real, financiers who actually run funds like hedge funds and private equity,
Oh,
it's
that was
0.5%.
yeah. About to say, we could probably name them.
Right,
Yeah,
Exactly,
wow.
probably
Yeah.
name them. It's
right.
a small.
That's real talk, man.
That's real talk.
And it ain't because we don't have the intelligence or the
No.
skills. It's because, like you said, we're too busy chasing the fast stuff. And man, what you saying that, I want to give a shout out to my young son who today got accepted into the All-Star coding program, which actually
Wow.
is run by Reginald F. Lewis's daughter.
Oh wow.
Wow.
Yeah, 14 years of age, man. People always, man, why you always
Woo.
promoting your children? Because guess what? That's what you're supposed to do.
Yeah.
You're supposed
Yeah.
to promote your children. And this ties into what Ben was talking about. This is program, one of the hardest programs to get in the country. And my son got into it a year earlier than you're supposed to. It's supposed to be for sophomores and juniors and seniors in high school. He's on a freshman. And I said,
Congrats.
we're going to fill out this app. And if it gets by him and you can pass the test, he had to take 3 tests. And literally the day before we came on the show, we got an email congratulating him getting accepted into the program. And the reason why I'm sharing that with you guys is because this kind of takes me 360, where I read Reginald F. Lewis's book, Why Should White Guys Have All the Fun, back in 1998.
Mhm.
And I always wanted to meet him or get in his, sphere of influence in some shape, but unfortunately he died at 50. And now for my son to get accepted into that program. And the irony of it is, I was going to name my son after him, but mom wouldn't let me. And now we got the story to tell. So that ties into what Ben was talking about. So I want to, say, shout out to my son. We call him the Crusher.
Yeah.
Congratulations getting into this esteemed coding program. And, hopefully one day he'll run a fintech company.
Yeah.
That's where it's at.
That's
Fintech.
amazing. I didn't learn how to code till I was 21 years old, and I hate doing it, so I don't do it. But shout out to him, man, for real.
Well, guess what? You never be without a job if you really needed one, though, right, Brandon?
That's a fact. That's also a fact. And
Fact.
if I'm without a job, I'm still getting revenue on my own, so it's fine.
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah. It was like the IT, at the time, coming up, when we were coming up, in the late '90s and early 2000s. Remember with Y2K?
Oh yeah.
And
Yeah.
everybody, it was like, if you could do IT, or you were making,
Yeah.
6 figures easily.
Yeah.
But it was
You
none
was
but
making
white dudes.
$250,000
Yeah.
easily.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Getting
But it was none but white dudes.
$400 an hour out of fear.
Exactly.
They thought that when the 99 went to 0, everything would go crash.
Exactly. But it was all white dudes
Yep.
that I was interacting with. I mean, I barely saw black IT firms.
No.
Mm-mm.
Real
And
talk.
even still.
Oh yeah, the numbers really don't change that much.
Yeah.
That's the sad part about, even though we're in an information age and everything is available to us at our a hand on the smartphone, we still are letting our children go down that, again, entertainment, sports world, when they should be going down that STEM world, or what I call STEAM, science, technology, entrepreneurship, access, and mentorship.
Yep.
They should have. So I can't wait for the day where I can have one of my children go and work and be interning at Talero to learn about the spirits business. You know what I'm saying? Just to get a taste, even if it's something they don't want to do, just to get exposure. And that's what we don't do enough of either. And that's financial education too, man.
Yeah.
It could change your life.
And in a situation like that, they're not going to be the token black person because it's a black owned company. Like when I was in the spirits industry, I worked with 3 other black people, and maybe one of them was interested in the industry. One of the other 2 was a job. Like, so me and him were the only ones that our company invested in. So definitely. But you were talking about the mortician industry, and it's like another thing I kind of noticed, like just sitting here thinking about it, that's also like a generational industry, because it's like, all right, well, I know what mortuary my family, my parents got buried at, and if I'm still in the area, I'll likely use them and my kids, and vice versa. So that's just a thought I just had.
Ain't that funny? But in the hood, have you ever seen a funeral home closed down? I haven't.
Nope. No.
Matter of fact, I mean, when you were in Chicago, the Taylor Funeral Home and the Leaks, still open, still doing vibrant business. And I went to high school with Spencer Lee Jr.
Right. Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. You knew leaks. Yeah. That's
Yeah,
where.
we went to the same high school. He was 2 years younger than me.
Yeah. Yeah. I
So
mean,
it's funny you said that, Ben.
but you know, also, I hate to say it, but segregation was good for business.
Yep.
Yeah.
Oh,
If
man.
forced,
Yeah. We're not going to them.
it was, you know, as you said before, you couldn't be buried by a white mortician. You couldn't be buried in a white cemetery. So it forced us, you know, in a good way to do business with each other.
Yeah.
You know, and you know, it is like my grandfather told me. He said that you know, all the integration taught us was that to think that the white man's ice was colder.
Mm.
Real talk. And that's why I'm excited about the cooperative economics and the ecosystems that we're building together with Ben Ramsey, because the technology allows us to do that faster and quicker now.
Yep.
And bridge that gap and show that, hey man, we love everybody on this planet.
Yeah.
But the reality is, I'm gonna love my people first and foremost,
Yeah.
and our resources. I don't need to go outside unless I want to.
Yeah. We're all exchanging resources in 3 different parts of the country right now at the same time.
Ain't that something?
Like it's
Now the only thing is, wish we own this platform.
oh yeah, that's
So that's another thing. So we do have a buddy that I know that actually has a technology that's out there working out some of the bugs that have it. Because at the end of the day, man, you're giving content to a platform that's creating wealth for them, not for us.
Right.
That's Clubhouse. Clubhouse was
Yeah.
bankrupt, about to go bankrupt about 5 months ago. But the brothers and sisters hop on there and spout their grievances, made old boy a billionaire. Ain't that something?
Yeah.
And what they get out of it? Nothing.
Yeah. Same thing with Twitter.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Twitter was about to go out of business. If it weren't for black people, there'd be no Twitter.
No, not at all.
And that's what cracks me up. People are like, hey man, I was on Black Twitter.
You're right.
You on Black Twitter? What you on Black Twitter? You got IP or you on? Oh no, we just call it Black Twitter. Oh, okay.
Yeah. If it went for Twitter, if it weren't for black people, there'd be no Twitter.
Ain't that something?
Yeah, it's crazy. So I actually read somewhere there's a company very similar to Clubhouse, black owned, called they're gonna call it the Cookout. So you know how you invite people to the Cookout. So they're in a beta mode right now. So we're gonna see what happens with that.
Here's the funny thing, Ramsey. Our people usually have a problem supporting us when we do stuff like that.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Why is that?
I don't know.
Well, I've always said it. You know, there was a guy he put out a meme, and he was like, Walmart has 2 lines, two lines open, and black people were still waiting those lines. But then if they go to a black grocery store, and and a piece of paper is on the ground, they'd be like, man, I can't deal with I can't do this with black people. You know what I'm saying? You're like, you'll sit there and let the white man just treat you like dirt, and you still be waiting. But as soon as like you see something out of line,
or
you get a discount.
It's funny you said that. My daughter just turned 12 last weekend, so she likes sushi, right?
Right.
So we go to this nice, Japanese place in our area, very affluent. It's the middle of the afternoon on Saturday, so it's 6 of us. So the meal was good. It wasn't exceptional, but it was good. The service was decent. They bring me the bill. It's a couple of bills, right? They automatically put the tip into my bill.
Yeah.
So I said, son, daughter, daddy about to teach you an economic lesson. All of a sudden, they all put their head down. Dad, don't embarrass us.
Don't show out.
I said, so number one, know the laws of the land. I'm not required to pay a tip to nobody legally.
Nope.
Yeah.
That's number one. Number two, if you're going to charge me 18 to 20% automatically in my bill, you better service me like I'm the king that I believe I am. That's number two. So number three, I said, look, so I crossed out the tip. I wrote on the bill, this is how much I'm paying, and I paid half. And I said, watch this. Gave it to the waiter. He looked at it. I said, yeah, make sure you understand this is all it's going to get paid because I'm paying with this a business credit card. I said, guess what? The manager be coming over here in about 5-7 minutes. Just like clockwork, the manager comes, hey, was there a problem with the service? I said, yeah, the problem was you're going to try to make me pay something I legally don't have to pay.
Yeah.
Oh, well, we have posted, 6 or more people. It's automatically, 18, 20% gratuity. I said, is that the law? Oh, no, but it's the just. I said, well, guess what? Since it's not the law, and since you didn't give me the option to pay it, I'm not going to pay it.
Right.
Yeah.
And he was like, well, we can't. I said, well, guess what? Well, then I'll just walk. Then he came, well, we'll make an exception to the rule, sir.
Yeah,
I said, yeah.
I thought you would.
So I told my kids, I said, guess what? We won't be coming back here anymore. And the example is to what Ben said, let a piece of paper fall in our store. Oh, but it happened in their store. We're coming back. We're rushing the door.
Yeah.
And my children were like, well, what did I said, well, guess what? What I tell you, you get 1X against you when I'm spending my money.
Yeah.
And you ain't nobody special.
Yeah. I mean,
but if I did accept that, they're gonna know, oh, let's treat you worse, and they're gonna give us more money.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I equate it to, because going to a black college, I went to all white private schools in Atlanta, and I never forget the first day I went for pre-orientation at Howard. I opened up my dresser, and a roach came out. And my dad slapped me on my back. He goes, "Yep. Well, you wanted that black college experience. Here you go." Said you wanted that black college experience. Like my boys were over at Georgetown. They gave them, laptops and everything was like this. I got to Howard. They were like, here you go, boom, boom, boom. Not no, hey, how you doing? But it kind of woke me up to the reality. You say that's that Negro wake up call. And it fostered that that hustler's mentality that that I have now. Nothing is given to you. You should you said before, if you have that mentality that I come from private schools and upper middle class, and both my parents are doctors. You should be able to I should get a laptop. No, Negro, you better get a job. You pay for that laptop.
Yeah.
Or you go to the computer lab, just like everybody else.
Yep.
And it's like that's because I said before, if I had that mentality, of expecting something to be given to me, I would not be in with Talero Tequila. Because I haven't been paid in 3 years.
Yeah.
Because you said before you used that 2-week paycheck. And getting that Humana or Blue Cross Blue Shield insurance.
Man, turning 26 was crazy. Let's just say that.
Oh, you got off the parents' teeth.
Oh my God! And both of my parents are union, so that insurance was real nice.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, that's all, man. When you got to figure out how to pay that stuff, and I'll give you an extreme example. So we interviewed on our show John Henry from Luke, from Harlem Capital about 2.5 months ago, and he just posted on LinkedIn that last year, because Luke just got started this year, he said last year I made $500,000 a year. This year, as the CEO of Luke, I make $70,000 a year.
Yeah.
The message was just like Ben saying, I have to invest in the company. I get paid.
Yeah.
And a lot of people don't realize that.
Yeah, you
and
can't be making $500,000.
Exactly. That goes back to what Ramsey said. You have to know your number to be able to sustain entrepreneurship, because it's gonna be droughts a lot when you're on that grind. And even when you make it, there's gonna be seasonal business as well. And if you don't know that, it don't matter how smart you are, how gifted you are, you will be out of business, because it happens. Look at the businesses that closed during the pandemic that were multi-billion-dollar businesses. No longer here.
I tell you one good thing that did happen with COVID is, as far as because with being with a tequila company meant I was at the clubs, at the restaurants, doing tastings. That went down. So that part of the expenses went down.
Oh
So,
yeah.
you said before, it allowed me to be more creative that way. And I dated less. So, when you dated,
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. You're right. The pockets, boy.
yeah, I started looking at my bank account. I was like, oh, damn, I actually got money,
You
a
go
little
into
bit
the
of
grocery
change,
store
you
instead
know,
of
I
cooking.
can live off of,
Oh
$100 a week.
man,
Yeah.
ain't that
I don't
something?
have to take out a girl.
We man, that's one thing about men, man. We can live in a box. You know what I
Right.
mean?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. $40. I was
right.
like, whoo, boy, I got $40 in my pocket, man.
I cook some chicken, boil some rice, we good.
Exactly.
Well,
Exactly.
Ramsey, you don't you ain't gonna be able to live that life no more.
right. That's why I'm like, damn, now they got the shots coming out. Like, damn, now I know. Now I don't have an excuse. They be like, can we meet out for drinks? I'm like, damn, before I'd be like,
That's why we try to keep the bar stocked at home.
right.
And we
Oh,
go
man,
we
that
go
is
grocery
funny.
shop and call it a day.
Yeah.
That's funny. I was gonna say too. The other great thing with your business model is that direct to model. If
Yeah.
ordering online at
Yeah.
ToleroTequila.com, and
Yep.
if we can say we use the money code, all caps money code,
Yep.
we're giving a 10% discount on behalf of Talero. But that direct to talk to them about that, Ben, how that
Yeah,
actually
absolutely.
leveled the playing field and gave you guys a creative advantage outside of the pandemic.
So the thing was that I got approached by this company called Full Circle out of Davie, Florida, and they were like, "You have a great tequila." They tasted it, and they were like, "You can sell your liquor online." And I was like, "Yeah, I know," because I was with a couple other online retailers. But he was like, "No, but we actually deliver to people's houses." Because the ones I before was with, you had to be at a business with a liquor license, and you can only order a case at a time. So that was very prohibitive. And so he was like, "Yeah, so you know, and it's only $100 a month,
Wow.
for the service." So I was like, "Bet, that's nothing, And so, but the thing was that you know, is to market it, and so that's when I incorporated all the guys who I used to DJ with and used to work with in the radio business. So we decided to do we called it F2020 New Year's Eve party because people couldn't go out for New Year's Eve, and so we did 4 DJs, and we told them, go to ToleroTequila.com, get your bottle for the New Year's Eve party, and because it'll be delivered right to you. And then they said it took off like wildfire from there because before people would say, I live in Kentucky or I live in Arizona or I live in New York. I can't find your tequila.
Yeah.
And I'll tell them one place they're sold out or my distributor didn't deliver there. This cuts all that bull crap out. And it allows me to say, okay, you're in Bronx, boom. It delivers right to the Bronx. You're in Sugarland, Texas, boom. You're in you're in Seattle, Washington, boom, it'll be right there, right to your door. And and that takes that they say it eliminates the middleman.
Yeah.
That probably pay y'all about 30% maybe overhead, maybe. Wow, even more. You saying probably 40, 45, 50.
Keep going. Remember I told you if you were a major distributor, they say $250,000.
Oh, right.
Oh,
yeah,
man.
you're right. So
Yeah.
Per market.
We're talking north of 60, 70%.
So yeah. So you figure if you're a tequila, you got to be in Texas, Arizona, Cali, New York, DC, Atlanta, Florida, Illinois. So
man,
that's
about $6 to $10 million.
There you go.
Yeah.
You just said it. And that's for 1 year.
That's 1 year. Wow. And you know what the great thing is? Hey, Ram, man, we done had a lot of our friends, man, get this delivered right to their door. I mean, it's like
I got this delivered to my door. I got off the plane from Atlanta. I helped my brother move in. I came back. I was like, "What's this box?" And It's something I got on Amazon. I open it. I'm like, oh, it's Talero.
Right.
Telling me about this.
Dude, that's what I love about it too. Quick. I mean, we've been having people ordering this stuff and they be like, dude, I got this in like 2 days.
Yeah.
Like real talk.
And states like Pennsylvania, where they have state stores, they can
Yeah.
get this from online. And I don't know if you guys know, like from state
ABC
stores, it's hard getting alcohol in those places. So
Yep. And the thing was, we had just gotten approved for North Carolina, Virginia, Kentucky, Ohio. Those are ABC states.
Yeah.
You know, alcohol board control. So that means that you said before, and that's an ass ache in itself. But the thing was that now the only states that we don't deliver to are, of course, Hawaii, Alaska, Alabama. I don't know why, but Alabama's still in the 1800s. Alabama's going to Alabama. Mississippi.
Sorry to my Alabama listeners.
Yeah, I said my whole family's from Alabama. And
they can go across the board. They can go across the border because Montgomery, Alabama is only like 2 hours from Atlanta.
But Birmingham's only an hour and a half.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah.
Most people I know because I had to fly into to the ATL to get to Montgomery.
Right. Yeah.
It was an hour. It was about an hour and a half, hour 45.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying. But Alabama's going to Alabama.
Right.
And then Kentucky and Arkansas. So the slave states.
Bible Belt.
They won't let black people enjoy their liquor freely.
We're saying that again. Man, your listeners listening, they got to go to TaleroTequila.com. TaleroTequila.com. Use promo code MONEY, MONEY, and Ben's gonna give you a 10% discount on behalf of the company, on behalf of the sponsorship arrangement we have been blessed with Talero, man. So hey, hit it up, guys and girls, try it. I'm telling you, if you don't like it, I'm gonna buy your bottle. Real talk.
I'll put that guarantee. Yeah, I always said that. I've done thousands of tastings. I've only had out of the thousands, 1,000 to say, I only had one person to say, nah, this is I don't like it. And I still looked at her wrong. I'm like, you just that's a character flaw. I look at you as a character flaw.
And you know what the funny thing is? I'm giving your Talero to people who don't even drink tequila, that are bourbon drinkers. Like, dude, this is some good stuff. I got a friend.
I'm a Japanese whiskey guy, but I like this tequila.
Yeah. I had a friend to be drinking that apple, whatever you call it, is made by this. The brothers like to buy. It's called something apple.
Crown, probably.
I ain't trying to promote them, but the reality is, I let him hit the tequila, the Talero. Dude, he ordered a bottle.
It's a bottle that should cost way more than it does.
I'm telling you, man, you ain't, man, dollar for dollar. I feel guilty sometimes when we be ordering it.
Some people, you said before, they thought it was like going to be like a Whole Foods type of tequila. Whole Foods was known for charging for organic, overcharging for organic type of stuff. So that's what but that's the way we were saying that we would attack the competition. We wanted to be in the $1 to $2 range of Patron, Don Julio, Jose Cuervo. So because no one's going to try, as I was telling you before, no one's going to try a new tequila or a new spirit for $50 or more. It's just what it is, because people.
That's true. I agree with you. If this was like $60-$70, which it should be, and I didn't know you, I ain't buying it. I don't care how great it tastes.
That's why I know the Maestro Dobels aren't gonna make it.
For me, it's gonna sit on my shelf for 2 years.
Right, that's what I'm saying. You go through it in a weekend, you be like,
and I'm not gonna buy it again either.
You mess around and spend $240 in a month if it's $60-$70 because it tastes so good.
Right. That's the thing that cuts into your stimulus check, bro. It's like, nah, bro. I allocated 2 bottles for now I gotta go through that and I gotta spend about 2 more bottles. Nah, bro, I'm good. Nah, I'll catch you on the next round.
Oh man, oh man, you're right. And talk about saving money. Hey, Ram, this is what I want to do for your people, man. It's our anniversary. I don't know if I said that.
Yeah,
Our
yeah.
company,
Congratulations, by the way.
yeah, man. Thank you a lot. I mean, we've been in business for several years, but we were not on social media. We officially came on YouTube, Instagram, and Facebook April 20th of 2020. So Tuesday was our 1 year anniversary, and for the 1 year anniversary, man, we're giving away $1,000 a day in free products and services until May 1st. I'm not giving you $1,000, ladies and gentlemen, but will give you, free
TikTok
products and services, our course, our webinars, our seminars, all our digital products. And all you got to do is hit us up at, nick@djthemoneycoach.com and just say, hey man, happy anniversary to you guys. Or you can call us at 866-395-3042, 866-395-3042 and say, happy anniversary, DJ and the Money Coach team. And we're going to give everybody a free webinar on April 28th at 7 p.m. Central, 8 p.m. Eastern time. And we're going to teach them everything about Family Finance 101. And we're also going to teach them about businesses, real estate, and stocks investments as well. Absolutely free. And if they want to engage in the program, we actually have a special for Ramsey people that will give them all of our stuff for less than $200, digital, money back guaranteed, over $5,000 worth of stuff. All the webinars, all the training courses I've done over the past 5 years, 100% free for only less than $200, money back guaranteed to celebrate until May 1st. So
all right.
we'll give you the links and everything. I think
I was gonna say I'm gonna put it so if you're listening now and you're not driving, check the link in the description. It's right there. In addition to in the YouTube, so check that as well. Man, I feel like my listeners for the most part are media folk and artists, which means you guys are also entrepreneurs, spenders, consumers, and producers. So I definitely absorbed a lot today. I appreciate you two brothers for real. Let's plug everything you guys do before we get up out of here.
Breaking news, Jonathan.
Yeah.
Shock G from Digital Underground. Died.
Just now?
Yeah.
No, man, really?
Oh my God.
57 years old.
Wow.
Oh my God. That's so
heart attack or something?
Yes, they said they have yet to perform an autopsy. They found him dead in a hotel room.
Oh my God.
Man, I love Digital Underground.
Yeah, I do too. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
I mean, that's from your neck of the woods.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, my pops, that I remember, they're like one of my first music memories, I think, is playing around with my
dad's cassette. Ain't they from Oakland?
Huh?
Ain't they from Oakland?
I believe so.
They started in Oakland, but he's actually from, most people didn't know, he's from Tampa.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he's from Tampa, Clearwater.
Man,
I didn't know that.
But they formed in Oakland.
Okay, yeah, because I always knew them as Oakland.
Yeah, but he's from Tampa.
Oh man, rest in power. Rest in power to Shock G, man.
That's crazy.
I worked with him when I had my online radio company, Swerve Radio. Yeah, him and Money B.
We got to talk about that. I mean, we all did the media thing at some point. I remember listening to you guys' episode. And you've had a heck of a radio career, working with Rush Limbaugh and
Shawn Hannity.
Yeah, Shawn Hannity. I think you said you were like interning with like us alongside Ryan Seacrest and stuff like that. That's
we were in high school together.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah.
I got to pick your brain for sure. But how do we find you and everything you're doing in addition to TaleroTequila.com?
We're so I Instagram, I'm at Benford Carter, BINFORD Carter. And we're at Talero Tequila USA. Then of course go to TaleroTequila.com and then enter the promo code. Hit the buy now tab, hit the promo code, use money, MONEY. And then you say it'll be there in 48 to 72 hours at your doorstep.
There we go.
Oh yeah, you know,
DJ.
Yeah, we need to let them know you have to be 21 years of age to sign for it.
Of course.
Oh yeah, of course.
Yep. So
I'm
your
sure
kid-
most of my listeners are, but to my little brother, you cannot order this.
Yeah.
Order this.
So because my second bottle was delivered and it came to the house and I wasn't there. So
Right.
went back to the warehouse and I was upset, but I was happy because they wouldn't let my children sign for it. So yeah, you do have to be 21 years of age to
Yeah,
sign
Please.
for it.
And
And
drink
it normally gets there.
responsibly.
Yep,
Right.
drink responsibly. And it normally gets there in 48 hours. Most time it's 48 hours. Yeah, none of them been less than 48 hours other than having to
72.
go
I
sign.
always tell them 72 just to,
Yep,
just in case. If
Yep.
you're West Coast.
true talk. Yeah, so they can reach us three ways. They can reach us toll free at our company's office. That's 866-395-3042, 866-395-3042. Because there's some people just, they like to pick up the phone.
Yeah.
They can email us at our business manager, which is related to you. That's Nick, Nick, at djthemoneycoach.com. That's Nick, Nick, at djthemoneycoach.com. And they can go to our YouTube channel, which is 7 Spheres, SPHERES of money, 7 Spheres of money on YouTube, at Instagram and Facebook. And right now, hey, hit us up. We're giving away $1,000 a day in products and services. Join our free webinar, April 28th, 8 p.m. Eastern Time, 7 p.m. Central Time. And we're giving away a special everything for less than a couple of $100, over $5,000 worth of our catalog, our digital products, every book I've ever written, which I've written 7 of them.
Hey, there we go.
One is the first one I wrote, which called, the
The ABCs of wealth.
ABCs of Wealth, Common Sense Strategy to Achieve an American Dream. I actually wrote this back in 2007, and I predicted some of the great recession that we went through. And I have 6 other books that we teach people how to buy homes, auto, and insurance and retirement plans. We're giving away all of that, over $5,000. And all they got to do is hit them links that Nick sent you and say, hey, happy anniversary. That's it. And then on May 1st, we're giving a one winner grand prize, $10,000 of products and services for the whole year. We're going to give them an executive membership that normally runs several $1,000s. We're giving away it for the whole year with all our products and services, all our webinars. They don't have to pay nothing. One grand prize winner, May 1st.
Alrighty, April 28th, May 1st. Remember those dates. Also click the links in our descriptions, whether that's on YouTube or on whatever streaming service you listen to this podcast. A-Side, B-Side is available everywhere. You can listen to podcasts. That's Apple, Google, Spotify, Napster, wherever. We're absolutely everywhere. But I would prefer that you went to what'sthemovement.net to listen to us. But yeah, thank you guys for listening to us. Like I said, like I really appreciate you too. I got so much out of this. If I never posted this, I ran away with a bunch of gems personally. So if you guys have listened to this far, congratulations, you made it. But yeah, definitely tap into both of these brothers. They're doing great things, especially for us and by us too. So like salute to you both. Shout out to my cousin Nick for connecting all of us. This is dope. And Friday, tune into Nick's Knowledge and Notions. That's on 7 Spheres of Money on YouTube. And right after that, Talero's Happy Hour on Zoom.
Not this week.
Oh, not this week?
Yep, but the DJ's on vacation. So
what?
yeah, man.
I mean, I can mix. I can do something.
Come on, man.
Yeah, I know. I know. But next week we got it's ladies' night. We got 2 female DJs.
Oh, there you go.
For next week.
Yeah. So I gotta wait till May 1st.
Yeah, May 1st. April 30th. April 30th. Yeah, I know. And then but we're gonna blow it up for Cinco de Mayo.
All right.
It's only right.
So,
it's only right.
So he out getting Arby's the number 16 is what you're telling me tomorrow.
Oh man.
Hey, I want to say one thing to your audience. What I leave with everybody. We wish you a pom-pom lifestyle. That's plenty of money and peace of mind. and we would love for you to come join us on the Beaches of the World Club. And it don't have to be an ocean or sand, but your beach can be where your freedom is and your tranquility. And I'm DJ the Money Coach. I appreciate you having me on your show, Jonathan Ramsey. It's been more than exceptional, and it's a great experience. Hopefully, you can do it again sometime.
Thank you, of course, and thank you for having me on your show twice too, man. So we definitely got to do it again for sure.
There we go.
Drink Talero Tequila. I'm gonna sleep wonderfully tonight.
I got the white one now.
Salute.
You guys be safe. Everybody listening, be safe as well. It's still a pandemic out here. Wear your mask, the whole nine. Get your shots. We're not anti-vaxxers. You might get a little 105 fever. You'll be fine the next day. It lasts 12 hours.
Yeah, well, yeah.